Okay, guys. I want you all to first sign in or sign up to your Google Cloud account and create a new project. Three. Serverless. And make sure you copy this project ID and save it somewhere in a notepad or something. So because it is used in further used in this session. It will take up to a minute for creating the project. After creating the project, you can go to select project and this new project will be available here. Okay, let us start with the goal of this session. So we are trying to learn about the serverless services offered by Google Cloud Services, right? We will be seeing about cloud functions and cloud run here. Cloud functions is used to deploy small pieces of code in Google Cloud Service, and cloud run is used to deploy containers and scale them and manage them using serverless architecture. And what are we building in this whole collab? So we will be building an bookshelf explorer which uses the cloud functions to insert data and cloud run container for a REST API and a web user interface. This is a sample snapshot of our web user interface. Let us see what is serverless first. Okay, so serverless is a cloud computing technique where it doesn't mean there is no servers used in this part, but the servers are not maintained by ourselves. It is maintained by the cloud service provider, which in this case is Google. And I hope all of you have created your projects and are into the Google Cloud Console. I want you all to start the Google Cloud Shell terminal by clicking the icon on the top right corner. This may take up to 2 to 5 minutes when it is initially loaded. So I want you, if you have any queries regarding all the setup steps, please ask in the comment or in the chat. For this project, we will be using various Google Cloud services. And to access any of these services, we need to enable some APIs to let Google know and Google access these services in Google Cloud Platform. Use this command to enable APIs such as Cloud Build, which is used for building our containers, Artifact Registry, which is used for storing our container images, Cloud Functions, and Firestore is used for as a database in our case, and the Google Cloud Run.
One
Copy this.
second,
Yeah.
one second, Bharat. While you're running that, before you run that, everyone who's on the call, please make sure that the project that you created or the project that you're currently on is associated to the billing account, which has the $5 credits, right? Otherwise, it'll ask you for billing account, it'll ask you for your credit card. So you don't need all that. You've already clicked on the link to generate credits, gcpcredits.com/codevipa. So I hope you're all on the right project and the project is linked to the $5 credits. Now, only then you go and activate your Cloud Shell, which should have taken a few seconds to launch. And once it's launched, the next step is what Bharat is running. So
Yeah,
I
we
hope
need to enable the APIs using the command. This will ask you to authorize the Cloud Shell to enable these commands. Click on authorize, and this will take a while to. It will take a while to enable all these APIs. Okay. After the process is completed, you will get a success message regarding the operation has been completed. And we will be using two environment variables throughout this project. And I want you guys to know, whenever we are creating the environment variable, this environment variable stays inside this inside only our terminal session and only in this terminal session. So if you create a new terminal and use this environment variable, they won't be available in there. So the first environment variable will be our region. We will be using Asia South 1, and our second environment variable will be our project ID. As I said earlier, um, you would have saved or noted down your project ID somewhere, or you can just copy it from the homepage of Google Cloud. If you have selected your project here, Google Cloud will be showing the project ID and the project number. You can copy from here and just paste it.
Bharat, hold on now. After every step, we'll probably ask if everyone, yeah, you have to go a bit slow.
Yeah,
After every
okay.
step, just hold on for a few seconds and let's ask the developers to show thumbs up if they are able to complete it. Okay,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
just hold on right there. I see a couple of errors in the enable section.
The
So the thing is, if you're not able to enable the services using the command, the gcloud command, everybody, it's not a problem. You can enable it as and when you're using that particular service. So we'll ask you to search for that particular service, and you can
service
enable it at that point. All right. So don't worry about that step. If you're not able to enable gcloud services, some of you, I see one of you has error, and some of you are showing thumbs up. So yeah, so that is fine. That's fine if you're not able to enable services. Once again, Bharat, can you show where the Cloud Shell terminal is? Some people who
yeah.
join just want to know. Yeah, if you,
The cloud shell terminal is at the top right corner in the top bar. It's beside the notification icon.
now, can everyone show a show of thumbs? Just let us know if you're following until this step. If you're able to set the environment variables. Okay. If anyone is not able to set the environment variable, please ping in chat. We'll give another minute before moving on to the next step. Abhinav, you will have to do it alongside. So that way, even if you don't complete, it's fine, but just do it alongside. That way it will, if you're stuck at some point, you can resolve it then and there. If it's difficult to resolve or if it's time consuming, then that's fine. You can continue to listen and then complete the session at the end of, or complete the hands-on at the end of the session on your own. If you can follow the blog or you can use the recording if that is okay. But Bharat, go slow, and I don't see
Um,
anyone who's stuck in setting the environment variable, so we are good to go. But before that, can someone please ping the link? Can Ruby, Ruby or Akshay, can you please paste the link to the blog? Yeah, thanks, Ruby.
okay. Okay, after logging in, Jamal, after logging in, you have to start your cloud terminal by clicking on the icon on the top right corner, and you have to enable some cloud services using cloud API services using this command. Uh, After enabling those cloud services, you need to register two environment variable for region and project ID. You can do it. Let me show it again. So we will start by enabling our services using this command. This command will enable all the required APIs for our project, and we will use these commands to set the region and the project ID as a environment variable in this terminal. For the project ID, as I said, you can copy the project ID and note it down somewhere, or it will be available if you just click on the projects tab. The ID will be available here for you to use. So just copy paste it here. So we have two of our environment variable configured. Is everyone able to do this?
Show of thumbs, please. All right, move on
Okay,
to the next.
thanks, guys. Okay, we are implementing a bookshelf web API here. So we will be needing some place to store our books, and we will use Firestore database, which is a NoSQL database provided by Google Cloud to, to store all our books. First, we need to create our database using this command. Here, the region environment variable is used to set the location of this database. Okay, after creation of database, you will get a response as a meta tag which defines all the database content, the create name and everything. If you have any errors, please ping in the chat or else give it a thumbs up.
If someone's getting database already exists error, it means you've already created it. You don't need to
Yeah,
create it again. So move on to the next step.
okay.
No, not to you, Bharat. I was telling
Yeah,
the,
yes.
yeah. All right.
Okay, now let us clone our source repository, which contains the source file for our web API and the sample data and our source files for our functions. Use the git clone command given in our blog to clone the APIs, clone the GitHub repository. For me, it's showing error because I already have I think I already have the repository in my Cloud Shell. So this creates a directory named serverless web APIs. This directory has a few folders inside it. First, the data folder, which holds array of JSON objects, which is like the sample data for our books database. The function imports directory contains a function for importing data via the endpoint. This will be deployed for our cloud function. The run thread and the app engine are the web API and the front end, which will be deployed to our cloud run. Um, So this is the sample JSON object which is inside our data folder. The sample data JSON file contains an array of JSON objects which have some key value pairs. The key value pairs used here are the ISBN number, which will be also our primary key in our database. Key in
Bharat,
our
before
data.
we, Bharat, before we go into the JSON, has everyone cloned the GitHub repository? Show of thumbs. All right. Now, Bharat, can you open the editor and show what the project structure looks like?
Yeah.
So open another Google Cloud tab. You can right click on the Google Cloud logo and open a new tab.
No tab. I think Cloud Shell is activating me. Okay. You can use the again the top right corner activate Cloud Shell icon to activate the Cloud Shell, and click on Open Editor to open the inline editor and view our files in a structured format.
So one point I want to add here is that Cloud Shell Terminal is the way you interact. You interact as a developer. You are interacting with Google Cloud Services. So that is what terminal. Editor means if you're cloning a repository or you creating a file, automatically your source code get allocated some Cloud Shell. You get allocated a Cloud Shell machine with some resources and compute. That is what a Cloud Shell machine is, right? So you get a terminal to interact with the services, and you get an editor where you store your source code. So automatically, as you can see in Bharat's screen right now, the repo you cloned is created as a project. So this is the project structure. Now, Bharat, if you want to explain the structure, go ahead.
Yeah. We have the 4 directories that. So let us go from the app engine frontend contains a Express server which delivers the frontend HTML needed for our Firestore database. The data directory contains a books.json file, which has a sample of 100 books, which we will be using for our database. The function import folder contains the function file, which acts like an post request. We will be see about it, but it just creates and inserts books into our database. The run CRUD folder is contains the express a web API, which does the CRUD operations, which is create, read, update, and delete on our bookshelf database. Okay. Have everyone cloned the repo and able to open the term editor? Yeah. Okay. Dhruva, what happened, Dhruva? Can you say what's your issue? Okay, the editor part. Dhruva, just click on Google Cloud logo, right click on it, and click open the link on new tab. The new tab will be open, and I think the virtual machine or the cloud shell will open automatically. If not, click on activate cloud shell icon on the top right corner. You will be seeing a cloud shell opening, and click open editor to open the cloud shell editor for us to view our files in a systematic order or in a editor based view. Is the issue sorted?
Yeah, for those who are not seeing anything in the editor, it means you have skipped the git clone step. So make sure you're following the previous step. Bharat is not going to go back to that step. But Bharat, if you can just copy and paste that in the chat for
Yeah,
those
I
who
can. I will please use this command to copy the GitHub repository.
Oh, if your session was transferred to another browser tab, that's fine, because if you immediately you have to click on the open editor button. Otherwise it will open the terminal again and your session will be transferred. That's totally fine. Just open another tab and click on open editor quickly before it opens terminal. That's about it, Anish. Yeah, moving on to the next step. We
Okay,
have
we
to,
will.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we have a Google Cloud functions, and we will see a few questions before to understand the usage of Google Cloud functions in our use case. We use Google Cloud functions to create and insert books into our database. It's just like a single and a common utility, which I said in the earlier use cases of Google Cloud functions. And why are they different from normal functions which we write in our programming languages? So let us see a simple JS function which takes in the takes
You have to unlock your device.
which takes in a list of books or array of books as a function parameter and inserts it into our Firebase database, Firestore database. This function is an asynchronous function. It creates the instance for the Firestore database, loops through the books we are getting as the parameter, and inserts it into our database. If the insert is successful, we are getting save the books. We have the console log statement for the books is saved successfully, else the error is shown in the log statements. So now we have a function. This is a simple function, and you can use it wherever you want. But we can make it available globally and work with all type of technological startup and steps and any kind of OSs. For that, we will deploy this function as a Google Cloud function. So, what are Google Cloud functions? They are HTTP driven mainly, scalable and serverless functions which works seamlessly with all other Google services, including the Firestore which we are using for this session. Let's get started into deploying them into our cloud functions. I think everyone is on the same page right now.
1 second before you move on, Bharat. Just to clarify, just to add on to what Bharat said, so far we have tried to set up the environment. We have set up the environment variables. We have created, we have cloned the code and everything is ready. He walked through the code folders, main folders. We haven't walked through the code in detail, but the main folders he showed us how he walked us through. Now what he is going to do is create a cloud function. And what exactly are we going to do with cloud function? As you know, we already created a Firestore database with that single line of command from gcloud. From Cloud Shell terminal. Now what he is going to do is take a JSON full of records, book related records, JSON rows, and he's going to insert that JSON documents into the Firestore database that we have just created. So it will, if you don't know how NoSQL works, please take a quick 2-minute understanding of what it is. All you have to know is there will be a database, and in one project, you can have only one database associated to a single project. That's why some of you were not able to create another database, because you probably already created it. Right. So a NoSQL database will have collection groups, and every collection group will have a lot of documents with JSON documents. So that is what he's going to create now with the help of Cloud Functions. So this is one wing of the implementation. Another wing of the implementation which he will address after Cloud Functions is the source code, where he is writing the web application, the API application, which will be deployed in Cloud Run. That is wing 2. First, let's cover the Cloud Functions aspect. All right, everyone is with me? Thumbs up, please. Perfect. Go ahead, Bharat.
Yeah, okay. You can go to a new tab and use Cloud Shell, or you can just minimize our Cloud Shell terminal and search for Cloud Functions. You will be seeing the first one comes up will be the Cloud Functions, event-driven serverless functions, and I want you all to click on it. So the page looks like this, and click on Create Function. It will, if the APIs are not enabled before, it will ask for, do you want to enable these API? Please click yes, so the APIs will be enabled and you can create the functions. Are we all on this page? Shailesh, what's the error? This is error while loading.
So I click on the Google Cloud function, and the page which you have shown, right, there was a logo. It is not loading that logo itself.
Okay, it's not loading the logo itself.
Yeah.
Maybe refresh the page and try again.
Now it is loaded. Now it is loaded. I have refreshed this. Now it is loaded. So I click on function, right?
In case your project is not associated to the $5 credit account, billing account, there is a possibility that you won't be able to use it. And I'm not sure about that. Maybe there is a free version possible, but I don't want to give you incorrect information. Make sure the right billing account is tagged to the project. The billing account which you created using the $5 credit should be tagged to the project. All right?
All right.
Yeah, this video will be a recording.
Okay.
After cloning, can you reshare the credit screen? Okay. I think most of us are on the same page. Okay. First, let us give our functions a name. I'm giving books import, and you can give whatever function name you want. But make sure it's deployed in the same region as our database, which is Asia South 1, Mumbai. And also enable the allow or unauthenticated invocations flag, because else we need to configure some authentication platform managers for us to access these APIs. If all of this is done, click on next. You will be greeted with this inline editor of Google, and you will have two files, the index.js and the package.js. Are we here? Yeah, okay, guys. Okay. So the steps are very simple here. I want you guys to replace the contents of package.json and the index.js with the contents given in the blog. For the package.json, we will be adding the dependencies Cloud Firestore and the Cloud Functions framework. So just copy the contents in the blog and paste it over here. And for index.js, just remove all the contents which are already present and copy the code given in our blog. This is just our JavaScript function which we have seen previously in a wrapper in a Google Cloud functions framework wrapper. As you can see, we are rejected. We are using. We will receive only post methods to this function, and we will be having the request body contains the books, which is the array of books which will be inserting into the data Firestore database. We have the Firestore collections and everything. You can go through the code later if you want. It's in the GitHub. And click on and make sure to change the entry point here. This is very important. If you don't do this, we will get too many errors. So make sure to change the entry point here to parse books with B capital. The entry point will be parse books with B capital, and click on deploy.
Everyone on board? It will take a minute or two to complete.
Okay. What is the entry?
But meanwhile, let me add one point. For those who are not able to create the database, which is a very important step here, I know that I already told you that you would have already created a database with the name default. That's why you're not able to create it again. So as I said before, in Firestore, you can only, under one project, you can only create one database with a particular name. So if you have already created a different database a database with the name default, it won't let you copy paste the code as it is in the blog or as it is as Bharat was showing. For that, you need to you run the command that I think Dheeraj or somebody pasted, where you have to give a new name to the database. All right. So make sure you're doing that and take a note of the database name that you're providing, because in one of the places where Bharat is showing, you will have to use your corresponding database name. So make sure you're aware of. Yeah. Thanks, Akshay. Thanks for sharing. Make sure you know what database name you're providing. If it's new name, remember that you'll have to change it accordingly at some point. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Bharat.
Yeah, Suman, entry point is the starting or the. It is like the starting or the entry point for our cloud function to execute. It's like the entry point. How can I say? It's like the start of the execution cycle for our whole function, and your database name will be default if you use our command. Yeah, your database name will be default, so you don't have to worry about that.
If you don't provide the database name in the command, it is automatically taken as default. If you provide a name in the command, it will be taken as that particular database. One more thing, Bharat, can you go to source tab? I just want to show something there to the folks. Yeah, in the source tab, Cloud Shell, no, not this source, Cloud Function source.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, go to the source tab.
Source tab, which one are we? Are you talking about this one?
No, go to Cloud Functions, the same thing, open that.
Okay,
no,
okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Go to the third tab. It is currently on metrics, right? Yeah.
Yeah, source tab, source.
Okay, somebody was asking about entry point. So I'm just trying to tell them, assume that entry point as the name of your function. That is what entry point is typically, right? It is the name of your function, Suman. I hope that that's clear. All right, now move on. Bharat's function is created. That's why you see the green check mark. Go ahead, Bharat.
How many of your functions are created and deployed? Can I know? Yeah, okay. Most of yours are done. If not, it will take some time. It will take up to 5 minutes to create and deploy our functions. But for those who have deployed, we can test it out using the curl command in our terminal. Okay. I'm opening my terminal.
Wait, Bharat. Let's give everyone a minute for those whose functions deployment is pending. We have some time, so let's give 1 minute. Just hold on there for those who are still deploying their functions. 1 more minute, and then you can show the result of the function. For those who are getting errors, I'll just ask one person to share their screen. So I'll tell you where to see the logs. Okay. Dhruva, can you share your screen? You'll have to end of the day, you have to go and end of the session, you have to go and fix your error. We won't be able to troubleshoot everyone's issues, but I'm just going to show where to see the error in Cloud Function. Dhruva, do you want to share your screen? Thanks. So for those who are getting something similar where they're seeing errors, ideally, you should be able to click that warning or click that error and see the error message there itself. Is there an expand? No, don't retry. If you don't fix anything, no use retrying. Copy the link that says logs at. So it will take you to the logging service, and in the logging service, you will see the actual error. Whatever you opened right now, can you open that? Where it was showing the error. No, notifications. The bell icon on top. Yeah. Copy that. Yes. No, not
No.
Yeah, copy that and paste it in your notepad and just copy the link to the logs. And open another tab, browser tab, and paste that. Just paste everything in your notepad first. Yeah. I'm not able to see your other tabs because I think you shared only a tab. That is fine. But that is how you troubleshoot your issue. Just see what error it is showing in the logs. That is exactly where you'll find what error it is. It could be something as simple as you've missed to change the parse books. If you forgot to rename your entry point to parse books, that will be an issue. How to access logs? That's what you can click the link. You copied it, no? You copied the notification, paste it in the notepad. It will be right there.
Okay. You can change the function name by we have given a string in our source file which says parsebook. You can change this function name as per your liking, but you have to keep the same name for entry point also. The both of these variables should be same. Parsebook and entry. The entry point and the function name should be same. Else you will be getting error. Abhi, can we continue?
One second, sorry, I lost the tab. Yes, we can continue. One thing, for those who are not able to see the logs or the error, just search for Log Explorer on the tab on the search bar where Dhruv is showing right now. Just search for Log Explorer or Logs Dashboard, anything. You should be able to see the most recent errors. We are not going to troubleshoot the error right now, but feel free to find, it should be showing the most recent service and the most recent error that you're facing. All right, just fix that and you should be able to get your function deployed. But if you're able to just follow the steps without skipping anything that Bharat is showing, there is no source code error that's possible because it is all tested by more than 2 of us. So yeah, let's move on. Bharat, can you share your screen? Bharat, your screen is not showing. Dhruv, thank you for
I'm actually sharing my screen, Abhi.
No, it's Dhruv's screen. You have to reshare. Yeah,
okay,
I can.
okay.
Yeah, now it's presenting.
Yeah, okay. So I think most of our functions would be deployed by this time. This is our function URL which we need to send a request to. So okay, let me tell you a small description about how we are communicating with this function. We will be using HTTP protocol to communicate with this function. There are 4 protocols which is mainly used throughout this project. Post, put, get, delete. So this it's very simple. Post is like creating a new thing in our database. Put is like updating a thing in our database. Get is like reading the books in our database, and delete is simple, deleting the books in our database. So it's just like that. I think someone has invoked my function. Okay. So copy this URL and no, first copy this command in your from the blog and paste it in your terminal. If your terminal is not open, click on the top right corner terminal icon to start a terminal again, and just edit the part where it says your function URL. instead of your function, wait. Sorry guys. Please do this step before copying the curl command. Go to serverless web APIs directory. Go to serverless web APIs directory and run this command. Sorry for this, but just go to serverless web APIs directory. You can use cd serverless web APIs to go to that particular directory. And for the command, just remove the dollar your function URL and paste the URL you have created for your function. This will send a post request, which, as I said, will create data in our database. Okay, cd command. I think
Bharat, as you're copy pasting the commands, make sure you're pasting it in the chat as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because by the time I copy, you're already in next step. So yeah.
Okay, I will share the. Use the cd command to go into the serverless web APIs directory, but make sure you are not in the serverless web APIs directory. Like here it shows the current working directory. If you are inside some other directory, make sure you come back to the root directory, which is cd/.
Bharat, can you expand? Can you drag? Yeah, it's very small, and also zoom a little bit, pinch and yeah. Good, thanks.
Yeah. So make sure you are in the serverless web APIs directory and run this command. Instead of dollar function your function URL, use your function URL, which you can copy from the cloud functions page. Yeah, is everybody able to do this?
Show of thumbs, how many of you were able to successfully save it? And how many of you already went to Firestore and validated if your records got added? Awesome.
Yeah, status okay means it has been inserted. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So is anybody else having the error? Dhruva. Okay. What error are you stuck at, Dhruva?
Dhruva, were you able to see the error in the logs?
Same error.
No, you didn't. We didn't see what error it was there in your logs. So go ahead and look into your logs, and you should be able to see what error you're seeing there.
Mitesh, are you in the serverless web APIs directory?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just paste the command you used?
Yeah.
No, cannot go through the share screen again. We have only 10 minutes left. So you can follow the instructions from the blog later on, Dhruva. Don't worry about it. The instructions will be available. So you can take a look at that. And in your case, Mitesh, the problem could be that your region for cloud is different.
Okay.
From the other region. So just go through the instructions in the blog and use the same, I think the region should be consistent.
Yeah, Asia South one should be used, Mitesh.
Okay.
I mean, you can use anything, but whatever you use should be consistent. The ideal is to use the nearest one in order to reduce latency.
Okay. It is consistent across. I have used Europe S3 all across.
Oh, then there could be some other issue. Make sure, did you create a new database name?
No, it was giving that same error that it is default. Sorry, it is already created. So I didn't go ahead with anything else. Should I create another one?
Maybe that's probably a reason. So yeah, take a look at the if you have to create a new database and take a look at that afterwards. Yeah. But for the rest of the session, you can show for those who have already completed inserting the records, it's great. Now the next session, the next half of the thing is not half, a little bit of the portion is deploying the rest of the application, which Bharat will continue to show. We won't be going through stopping at each step. but he will slowly, in the same pace, he'll show all the steps involved in Cloud Run deployment as well. Don't worry if you're not able to complete it in the session. You can follow the blog and complete it after the session also, and reach out to Bharat in emails as well. So Bharat, if you can get started with the next session, next
Okay.
Cloud Run part.
Yeah. Before going to the Cloud Run, you can just verify if the data is inserted by searching Firestore and go to data Firestore, because don't go to this Firestore serverless NoSQL data document. Go to data Firestore and your collection will be viewed here. So we will be deploying containers to Cloud Run. So we will see a bit about containers and Docker in a simplified manner. Containers are like an isolated environment for our application to run, and Docker is the platform which helps us to package these containers and deploy it consistently and manage them over time. So why are we using Docker and container? The main use case here is the portability and the scalability. So the Docker containers are consistent across all the tech stacks and all the OSs. So it reduces the overall development overhead and streamlines the development integrated the CI/CD pipeline, and they are mainly used in the developing microservices architecture. So what use case does Google Cloud Run have here? We have created a web API using Express.js and Node.js for book CRUD. As I said, CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. A bookshelf has 4 of these main operations. So we have created a web API for doing this, and we will be deploying this API using Docker and containers. Google Cloud Run offers us the serverless deployment platform for deploying containers. Mainly, Google Cloud Run is used for deploying serverless containers, which are scalable and cost efficient. Now, let us just get started in deploying our containers to Google Cloud Run. The rest of the walkthrough will be in Cloud Shell. Because it is pretty easy to deploy our container from the Cloud Shell. Okay, so what are the packages we are using is Express.js for creating our web API, Firestore client SDK, which helps us to integrate with Google Cloud Firestore and do the necessary CRUD operations. The index.js contains the main source code for the get call, put call, post and delete calls. We will be seeing the overview of the get call here. When you go to the /books path parameter, this call is triggered, and this function fetches the first 10 books using query parameters to filter out the author, filter based on author and languages. As you can see, we are creating a new instance here. We are querying by author if the author is given in the query parameter. If we are querying by language, if language is given in the query parameter, and we are doing some logics for pagination. After receiving the books, we are writing them into converting them into JSON and returning them as a response to our request. If we have some kind of error, we are catching it and printing it out to our console. I don't want to go deep into this, but you can use the source repository to explore this code. And
one minute, Bharat. Can you go to the editor, the Cloud Shell editor, and show the structure? Which folder? So the folder he is talking about right now is your
run.
One second, Bharat. Let me cover the few things quickly, and then you can show the deployment phase directly. So the can you move your cursor away? Yeah, thanks. So as you can see, just zoom in his screen a bit. As you can see, the run-crud folder is the one that contains the source code, which he's talking about right now. This is the source code which contains the JavaScript to do the so basically an API is so your API that we are deploying here has 4 methods. We are implementing 4 methods. He already described that: get, put, post, and delete. You can go through the code for all 4. Get is basically reading, put is inserting, post is updating, and delete is basically deleting that record. Now Cloud Run and Cloud Functions are both serverless options. Cloud Function, we already saw, you all successfully completed it. But Cloud Run, on the other hand, is for full stack applications, which has a lot of dependencies, other classes, so which has more than one standalone file, right? That will be of your full stack projects will be deployed in Cloud Run. So we have, in order to deploy an application in Cloud Run, you have to containerize that particular application. That is when Cloud Run will deploy it in serverlessly in Google Cloud. So for containerizing that, we need to introduce a file called Docker file. Can you open Docker file? Yeah. So Docker file is nothing but a few lines where you're telling the project that this is the programming language or the image that I'm using. In this case, Node version 20. And in the working directory, you're creating a folder path for working directory. And in the copy command, you're saying copy all the contents from the package.json and what needs to be run, what environment you're running. And then copy all the source into the working directory. And then the command is node index.js. So index.js is the code that will actually run when you containerize this. So index.js is the one that has all the API code. All right. Now, in order to containerize it, we have something called as artifact registry, for which you would have already enabled the API in the step 1 of the session. But if you have not successfully enabled the API, don't worry. Go to Google Cloud Console and search for artifact registry. It will, if it's not already enabled, it will ask you to enable this time. So open Google Cloud Console in a new tab, Bharat, and just show what artifact registry looks like. But you don't have to open the console for artifact registry unless you have not enabled the API before. Then you will have to enable it. And then following this, there are 2 Cloud Shell commands which Bharat will show you. One for containerization and one for Cloud Run deployment, which we'll see right now. So you don't have to change anything in the source code. The only thing you will change, the only thing you will do right now is enable the artifact registry and execute the 2 commands, Cloud Shell commands. So search for artifact registry in the search bar, which he is doing right now.
And go to repositories, artifact registry. Don't go to the first one.
If the API is not already enabled, it will ask you to enable the API. If it is already enabled, then cool. Then you can carry on with the 2 Cloud Shell commands. You can take over, Bharat.
Okay.
You can quickly show those 2 commands and what the deployed app looks like.
Okay. 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 We will use this command to create a repository in our artifact registry. I want to quickly register the region here. Since I closed and opened my terminal, I'm registering my region again. So this command specifies creating an artifact registry, which is named CV3 repo. The repo format should be Docker, and the location is given as which is consistently Asia South 1. I'm not, guys. It's due to some parsing error. If you use the full command in the same line, it would work. Fine. So our repository is created now. So we need to build our Docker image locally and push this Docker image to our repository. The command to create this Docker images, Docker build dot, which says that first we need to be in the run CRUD folder. Right now we were in the serverless web APIs folder. We need to go into the run CRUD folder and run the command docker build dot specifies that the source file, which is the Docker file, is in the present working directory, current working directory, and we have to give it a tag called gcr.io / your project ID. And I don't think my project ID is here, so I will give my project ID manually. Serverless web APIs / your Docker repository, which will be CV3 repo / the image of this Docker file, which will be run CRUD API. So with this command, we will be creating a Docker file. As you
Can
can see,
you copy paste the command in the chat? Bharat?
yes.
I think Sahil has pasted it. Is that right? Or is that the same one that you ran?
This is for cloud repository creation. Yeah, it is right, B.
Is
This
that
one
the
is
command that you ran last?
no. I will run give the command which I ran last. So just edit the part where just edit use your project ID in the given space. I have I have pasted the command which I have used, the gcr.io slash your project ID CV3 repo and run CRUD API. It can be similar. It's not an issue. So after building this image, now we have to push this image to our artifact registry. So gcr.io slash my project ID, which will be CV3 serverless web API slash CV3 repo. So the format goes like this. Gcr slash .io slash project ID slash repo name slash the API image name which we have used. So run CRUD API. So we are pushing the image to our artifact repository.
Can you paste this command also?
Yeah.
Docker push.
Wait a second, I can just edit the command. Previous command. Again, instead of project ID, use your own project ID in there. Okay, our image is pushed in the artifact registry. All we have to do now is use the Google run deploy command to deploy our API. So you can use this command and paste it, use it directly. It says allow unauthenticated flag, so anyone can access this API. The region is set to our environment variable, which will be Asia South 1. The platform is managed, and we are giving the image here as a gcr.io, the format which I have said earlier. This will create a new service. Okay. Okay, guys, you need to give equal to here before the image for this to work properly. I will update it in the blog soon. Not ready to serve in. Okay. The command will work fine for you because I have already created a repo named similar to this. Wait. Sorry, guys. Not the issue is the project ID is. I haven't given my project ID. That's the issue. HTTP serverless. Dhruva, you can always follow the blog, Dhruva. It explains everything clearly. And if you have any doubts, you can always mail me. Invalid tag, serverless will be business. Invalid reference format. Um, Namrata, you have given an extra dot here after the project ID. As you can see, serverless API 396.114 dot. You have to remove that dot to work to make it work properly.
Yeah,
Right.
Bharat. So you continue with the session. We'll so all those who face errors, it's probably because of some copy paste error, or you have not declared the set the variables that you're trying to use in the session. So that's probably why. Follow the blog. Everything is exactly detailed out in the blog. We'll take 1 more minute and complete the Cloud Run deployment, and then we'll see how to follow the blog and finish this assignment. Yeah. Go ahead,
Okay.
Bharat.
Okay, you can search for Google Cloud Run, and all your deployed containers will be shown here. Okay, run CRUD. You can use this URL to access our container. You will be getting cannot get here because we haven't defined any response type for the slash route. You have to use the slash books route to get response from this. Now, as you can see, this is returning the top 10 books in from our database. We will try the query parameters here once. Let me try language is equal to English. We can query based on language and author, and this will cause a error because Firestore is a NoSQL database, and for querying in a NoSQL database, we need to create index in it, which is like a mapping for Firebase to know how to query data. So you can easily create it through this URL which is given in the response. Just copy that URL. Log into your GCP account which you have used throughout this project. You will get a pop-up saying the Firebase Firestore wants to create an index for language field. As you can see, language ascending order. These are the defaults here. Just click on create to start creating this index. Index creations can take up to 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. So by this time, I wanted to finish the rest of the implementation. Index will take about, as I said, 2 to 5 minutes. Let me first summarize what we have done. We have created the Docker file for our API. We have built the Docker file and created the image. We have pushed the image to our artifact registry, and after pushing the image to our artifact registry, we have used that image to deploy our container into Google Cloud Run. This is the whole process of creating containers and deploying it into Google Cloud Run. Now we will see deploying the web frontend UI. I don't want to go much deep into this because the session is too long, and I have explained about the Docker file and everything previously. So I will just create a Docker file in our app engine directory.
So Bharat, 1 second. We don't have to go to, so that is the exercise part that complete. So let me take over from here. Folks, so those who have followed up until now, can someone, those who have completed the Cloud Run deployment of the API, can you show of thumbs? Can you confirm how many of you were able to actually deploy the API in Cloud Run? All right, perfect. So for those of you who have not completed Cloud Functions and Cloud Run, please feel free to follow the blog as it is. The last part, which we have not intentionally covered as part of this session, and that is supposed to be your submission, the result that you will be sharing is the front end, the web application interface, user interface that is also the source code is available. And the only thing that won't be available is the Docker file, which is there in the blog. So copy the Docker file content from the blog and paste it in the code, and try to deploy your user interface, that is the client web application as well, in Cloud Run, and share the web application in the results form, which I'll share the link to in the chat section here. So that is those are the 3 things we wanted to cover: deploying serverlessly with Cloud Functions, deploying the API, the server aspect of the application. So there are 3 applications you did now. One is initial push using cloud into Firestore using Cloud Functions. Second one is creating the API methods, the get, put, post, and delete using the JS application that you created and deployed using Cloud Run. The third one is again the HTML JavaScript front end that you created. It is there in one of the folders that you cloned. Only thing that is missing is the Docker file, for which the code is available in the blog. Deploy that also in the Cloud Run The steps to deploy that is available in the blog. So your assignment is to complete all the three, but you will be sharing the results link to the deployed application client interface link, Cloud Run link in the results form. Okay, so the results form I'll share right now in the chat. Those who have already completed all three can send all three in the results. All right. So the link is right there. That's the Google Forms link to send your deployed application link. All right. So Bharat, can you show the blog 1 second in your screen?
Yeah.
No. Dhruva, you have till end of so tomorrow there is session 2 and day after tomorrow session 3. You can take till end of today to complete and send the response, or you have till end of the month to complete your responses and send. There's no rush. It's just that tomorrow we'll have another session and there will be another result that you'll be working on. So whichever is convenient for you. If you have questions, you can always reach out to the email that's mentioned in the landing page. You have all the details. The optional part means the option, it is mentioned as optional because we won't be covering that in the session, but that is what we want you to do as part of the exercise. All three you need to do. If you've completed all three deployments, share the link. If you want to only share the link for the app, that is fine too. Just share the link for the app, but ultimately we'll test your app. So make sure. Yeah, this is the link to the form. If you're not able to see the link to the form, it is always available in the season 3 landing page. And as you can see in Bharat's screen right now, can you scroll a little further up, Bharat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so deploying books front end to Cloud Run. This is the part which we did not cover. That's why it's marked as optional, it was optional for the session, but yeah, we'll actually have to implement this and keep us posted. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for all your time and thanks for attending this. Shilpi, you can submit the result for all three. Ultimately, we'll test your front-end app, right? Only if the other two are available, you'll be able to successfully deliver your front-end app. So anything if you want to share all the three deployed versions, do it. Or if you want to share only the deployed app link, that is fine too. But your app won't work if the API is not deployed correctly. All right. Yes, here is the Google Forms link again. You have till end of the month to complete. Any question, you can always reach out. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And the session recording will be updated in the landing page, and it has all the details. Thank you, everyone.
Abhinami, I have one question, if I may.
Yes, Mahindra.
Regarding the $5 credit, right? So what if we just messed it up while creating the DB, and then we delete and then we create a new? So $5 credit will remain as it is, or how is it?
Yes. So none of the things that we did today will incur any cost. Because see, the bare minimum requirement here is to have a billing account with some value in it. So none of this is intended to take away from the $5 credit.
Okay.
So nothing will happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And unless there is any pressing question, which you can always reach out to us on for the links and email and other details are available in the landing page. All the best, guys. Thanks a lot for joining, and see you tomorrow and day after as well. Ambrish, not right now. Don't shut down anything right now. Wait till end of the season, and we'll tell you what to shut down. Like once you share the result, once you share the apps, I mean, we won't keep clicking your apps. Don't worry. We'll just click it one time to see the result, and then you can. I'll let you know once the season is complete. You can delete the deployed services. Cool. Thanks, everyone. See you all tomorrow, same time. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.